Part 2. When we begin to realize our true identities, when we begin to realize that we are already enlightened beings, when we become the essence of Buddha by realizing we are Buddhas already, what happens then is that the mind quiets itself, because in truth our mind has never been rattling. Our ego has been rattling. As long as we identify ourselves as the ego, we won't be able to still our mind. As soon as we identify ourselves as who and what we truly are, we realize that the mind has always been still. We have always been a part of the original mind. And when we begin to identify with that, instead of with the name and the age and the places we were born and the roles we have been given during socialization, we are then free to become the enlightened beings that we already are. So it's not about attaining, it's about getting rid of, brushing off all of the negativity and all of the fears and all of the thoughts and ideas given to us. And as a Taoist once said, brushing it off. And once you brush it off, you find the gold or jade buried underneath. Where does it come from? It's been there all the time. It has just been obstructed by the dirt and the dust. And so our idea, the idea that we carry out and we meditate, is basically to brush off all of the thoughts and all of the ideas that have been given to us. And the main way that we can do this, the first way that we can do this, is to know who we really are and identify with that part of ourselves. And as we identify with who and what we really are, the I that is beyond the ego, all else follows. As we begin to identify with ourselves as we meditate, we realize that the chattering is not something from us at all. It is just a biological construct, a false construct. Several words and ideas and fantasies and images that have been hooked together, linked together in order to hold on to the ego that we have created. Somehow we have created the illusion in ourselves that the ego is the self, when in actuality it is just a translator for the original mind in this world, the one in which we have been born. So somehow our society has duped us into believing that we are something that we are not. Once again, when in actuality we are already the Buddha. We are already awakened and enlightened beings. And it becomes as easy as just realizing that. And when we realize that, all of the other things follow. We find ourselves in a state like the Heart Sutra, where these dualistic opposites don't exist anymore. And we are just one. We are just the essence of the universe and the mind of the universe. Something to really think about. Namaste, and thank you for joining us once again at the Circle.